Today, we're going to be reading from the section in the All-American Slurp where the Lynn family goes to the Lakeview restaurant. So right now, while I read this, I want you to be thinking about what Kid Lynn is saying, doing, and thinking that gives hints regarding the setting, the relationship with the setting. Is the relationship for Kid Lynn with the setting, is it positive or is it negative? Then came our dinner at the Lakeview restaurant. The Lakeview was an expensive restaurant, one of those places where a head waiter dressed in tails conducted you to your seat, and the only light came from candles and flaming desserts. In one corner of the room, a lady harpist played tinkling melodies. Father wanted to celebrate because he had just been promoted. He worked for an electronics company, and after his English started improving, his superiors decided to appoint him to a position more suited to his training. The promotion not only brought a higher salary, but was also a tremendous boost to his pride. Up to then, we had eaten only in Chinese restaurants. Although my brother and I were becoming fond of hamburgers, my parents didn't care much for Western food other than chow mein. But this was a special occasion, and Father asked his coworkers to recommend a really elegant restaurant. So there we were at the Lakeview, stumbling after the head waiter into the murky dining room. At our table, we were handed our menus, and they were so big that to read mine, I almost had to stand up again. But why bother? It was mostly in French anyway. Father, being an engineer, was always systematic. He took out a pocket French dictionary. They told me that most of the items would be in French, so I am prepared. He even had a pocket flashlight, the size of a marking pen. While Mother held the flashlight over the menu, he looked up the items that were in French. Pâté inclus, he muttered. Let's see. Pâté is paste. Cru is crust. A paste in crust. The waiter stood looking patient. I squirmed and died at least 50 times. At long last, Father gave up. Why don't we just order 4 complete dinners at random, he suggested. Isn't that risky? Asked Mother. The French eat some rather peculiar things, I've heard. A Chinese can eat anything a Frenchman can eat, Father declared. The soup arrived in a plate. How do you get soup up from a plate? I glanced at the other diners, but the ones at the nearby tables were not on their soup course, while the more distant ones were invisible in the darkness. Fortunately, my parents had studied books on Western etiquette before they came to America. Tilt your plate, whispered my mother. It's easier to spoon the soup up that way. She was right. Tilting the plate did the trick. But the etiquette book didn't say anything about what you did after the soup reached your lips. As any respectable Chinese knows, the correct way to eat your soup is to slurp. This helps to cool the liquid and prevent you from burning your lips. It also shows your appreciation. We showed our appreciation. Went my father, went my mother, went my brother, who was the hungriest. The lady harpist stopped playing to take a rest, and in the silence our family's consumption of soup suddenly seemed unnaturally loud. You know how it sounds on a rocky beach when the tide goes out and the water drains from all those little pools? They go. That was the Lynn family eating soup. At the next table, a waiter was pouring wine. When a large reached him, he froze. The bottle continued to pour, and red wine flooded the tabletop and into the lap of a customer. Even the customer didn't notice anything at first, being also hypnotized by the. It was too much. I need to go to the toilet, I mumbled, jumping to my feet. A waiter, sensing my urgency, quickly directed me to the ladies' room.